Good morning, good morning, good morning. And welcome, welcome, welcome. Hope everybody is having a great and wonderful day. We are not going to be long today, but hopefully we will be effective. So good morning. Just going to give another 30 seconds for people to join us. Hope that everybody is having a great morning thus far. If you know how to share me, share me. If you know how to share me through Facebook, Twitter, any other program that you know how to share me through, you can go ahead and do that. I am going to share with you today my own personal health tip that I am working through and using as we speak. All right. So I want to say good morning to each of you. Good morning, Lady Barbara, Lady Latoya. Pastor Ben is with us this morning. I believe Lady Watts is with us on our YouTube live stream. So I want to say good morning to those of you. I also want to say to those of you, good morning to those of you who are new followers. By now, if you've been here for the week, you know that we cover a different subject every single day of the week at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And today we are focusing on business tips, professional tips, and health tips. All right. Good morning, Prophet Jonathan. Yesterday evening, I started feeling really bad. I hadn't been to too many places. Good morning, Prophet Lady Apostle. Good morning, Melanated. Seeing some new names step in this morning. Good morning. And I was feeling really bad. And I was starting to feel a sore throat, a scratchy throat, running, and a runny nose all at the same time yesterday. So you know what I did? I went to work on something that I know works without medication. All right. So I had my husband last night to bring me some of my favorite remedy, and that is some pineapple juice. All right. You can do a little pineapple juice in the little can. I personally like Dole better. Good morning. So this is my health tip for you all today. But Del Monte works fine. And get you, when you start seeing those symptoms on, okay, all right, Lady Apostle. When you start seeing those symptoms coming on, like the scratchy throat and the sore throat and runny nose, all of that good stuff, get you some pineapple juice, okay? Pineapple juice has a lot of the things that people take in vitamin supplement form. It's already in pineapple juice, all right? I did put out a couple of articles on pineapple juice on the Daring Dialogues page, so you can kind of see all of the benefits in it. But it's got good benefits for your skin. It's got good benefits for your hair, but it also has great benefits for getting rid of coughs and colds and scratchy throats and sinus symptoms. I used to deal with sinus a lot. All right, so I'm not telling you something that I don't know. And as a person who speaks a lot and does singing, this is the speaker's secret. All right. Most people utilize it with just heat it up. So you can do straight hot pineapple juice, or you can put a little bit of water in it to water it down if the taste is too strong for you when you drink it hot. The other thing you can add to it, which I did last night, I actually did what I call a super prep, because I was trying to get rid of the symptoms really quickly. I did 3 of these. All right. Excellent. Kiwi is also a good burst to the immune system. I did pineapple juice, and then I did a packet of lemon juice in my pineapple juice, and I heated it up. I did that 3 times. I drank 3 cans last night. I woke up this morning. Scratchy throat is gone. Sore throat is gone. I still have a little bit of the sniffles, but they're clearing up. So I did another one of these this morning, and I'm probably going to do another one in a few hours. And gone. G-O-N-E. All right? So if you're a person who hates sinus medication, you hate cough syrup and all of that stuff, you know, of course I'm going to give my caveat, see your doctor. But if you want a healthy remedy where you're not feeling like you have to lay in bed all day, where you're not feeling drowsy, where you're not feeling under medication, hot pineapple juice, lemon juice. Notice it's only one packet. All right, I did that 3 times last night because I felt like the symptoms were coming on pretty strong, and now I am fine. I'm doing well. I have no sore throat. I have no scratchy throat. I can talk, etc. All right, so I'm just telling you what I know works. All right, this actually works better than the lemon, honey, and tea, because I used to do that until I found out about hot pineapple juice, and this works quicker than the lemon, honey, tea. All right, so one of the things that I do when I travel is a couple of things. I definitely bring cans of pineapple juice with me as a speaker, and then I'll get me a little Ziploc. And most of the time, if you go to a coffee shop or something like that, usually coffee shops tend to have packs of lemon and packs of honey and raw sugar. So I got my little plastic bag, or you can buy it at the grocery store, lemon juice in packs. And I just pack a little Ziploc with some sugar in the raw in it, with some lemon juice, and I forgot to bring my pack of honey over here, and I put a few of them in a Ziploc, and I now have a nice little travel bag for wherever I go, especially if I have to speak, because a lot of times, most of us speakers know, sometimes you request things and then you get there and then they don't have it. And for some of us, that could be detrimental. So I try to have my own little travel pack to go so that I don't have to inconvenience whoever it is, wherever I'm going. All I have to do is say, bring me some hot water, or, you know, give me a cup so I can heat up my drink. All right. And then I drink it before, about 30 minutes before I have to speak. And then I'm fine. All right. So that's just a little health tip for those of you who are dealing with the colds and the coughs this season. Right now up here, it is -13 wind chill. That's not cute. All right. So speakers, thank me later, but this does work. All right. So let's get into our 2 books for today. We're going back to the book called The Power of Small. And I want to read you this particular story. It says, take advantage of the smallest opportunities. I like this book because they give you real life scenarios. Good morning. They give you real life scenarios of things that have happened to people in business and the results. All right. So this one is take advantage of the smallest opportunities. The opportunity to go beyond what is expected can crop up unexpectedly and in unexpected ways. As Michelle Lim found out, she is the founder of a small business, WLF Interactive Development Center. Her fledgling training and consulting firm has a phone number very similar to that of a nearby movie theater. As a result, Michelle frequently received calls from people trying to reach the theater for showtimes and information. So, how many of you have ever had a phone number that was either a former business number or it was very close to the number where people call frequently? Excuse me. I worked at a school like that where people were always calling our school, but they were asking for another facility. And if you get that all day, every day, it can be a little on the annoying side. She was working late one day when the phone rang in her office. The woman on the other end wanted to know the time for the last screening of Beauty and the Beast. Michelle says, I was taking my kids to that same show, so instead of telling her that she had dialed the wrong number, I gave her the information she needed and added that traffic was very heavy in the area, so she should allow an extra half hour to get to the theater and find parking. Michelle then gave the woman the theater's correct phone number and asked her to make a note of it. She heard a long pause on the other end of the line. If this isn't Green Hills Theater, why did you give me all that information? Who is this? Michelle explained to the perplexed caller that she ran the WLF Interactive Development Center and that their phone number was very similar to the theater's. They exchanged some pleasantries and said goodbye. She thought that was the last time she would ever hear from the caller. But to her surprise, a few days later, a young woman called on behalf of her boss and hired Michelle to train their staff in how to use telephones effectively. Says Michelle, the small effort I had taken to give a little extra information had created such a favorable impression that her boss engaged me to conduct a training seminar without even meeting me in person. Such random acts of kindness can sometimes pay off in surprising ways. Program yourself to keep your small antenna up throughout the day to catch those serendipitous opportunities. Psychologist Moshka Belkin believes that our emotional and social instincts can be trained and developed in the same way as our biceps and triceps. You may feel a little awkward at first as you begin to pay more attention to the people around you and their behavior and conversations. But with practice, you will get better at automatically noticing opportunities to go above and beyond and do more than expected. Believe us, people will remember you if you do, and you'll feel better and more engaged with those around you as well. Pushing yourself just a little harder is one of the great hidden keys to company and career success, as well as to building better friendships and stronger relationships. Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart, was famous for flying around the country in his helicopter to personally visit hundreds of Walmart stores every year. His chopper would land in the parking lot, and Sam would stride into the store and ask employees, "How may I help you?" He knew that the motivation and commitment of his employees directly impacted the success of his company. Whether you're in retail, real estate, research, or any business in which you interact with clients and customers, going the extra inch can be an enormously powerful catalyst for positive change. So one of the things that they said in here I think was very important that you want to pick up on is training yourself for small opportunities to recognize them. That's actually one of the things that I like to do when I'm out in public. Sometimes I know that my husband looks at me very strangely when I do certain things, but because we've been married so long, almost 2 decades, praise the Lord, he has gotten used to me picking up on small opportunities, noticing when something is going on with someone else around me, noticing when people are having a problem. It does take a moment for you to be able to do it, but here's the key to doing it. You have to be paying attention to more than yourself. All right? I know some of us have a busy day and we want to get things done, and so sometimes we tend to be more internally focused on what we have to get done, but sometimes taking a breath, stopping, even if you're doing something as simple as going to get your car washed, for example, pay attention to the people that are around you. I know a lot of times when people get when they get their car washed, right? Thank you, husband. I know sometimes when people get their car washed, right, they tend to want to just go through the little drive-through setting and keep it moving. Most times people don't get out their car, right? Or if your car wash place has like the one we go to has, you know, like coffee, and it's got like little tables in there and couches and all this stuff, because people are now realizing that they can make money off of you waiting, right? So now some car washes are almost like a coffee shop inside. So you can use that opportunity to get out of your car if you're getting detail done. Pay attention to the people who are around you. talk to people, smile, say hello, ask how their day is. You know, it doesn't have to be something complicated to, excuse me, to pay attention to people who are around you. All right. It simply takes being willing to get our eyes off of ourselves for a minute or two to really pay attention to what's going on around you. Small change. These are a few things that you can change. All right. One of them says, do the right stuff. When was the last time you got a letter in the mail? I know I got a couple during the holiday season, but we know a lot of people no longer send out Christmas cards. They no longer send out, you know, how people take the picture of their family and they send it to you. Excuse me. Now what people are doing is they just take a picture and they upload it to Facebook. And if you see it, you see it. And if you don't, oops. So one of the things that you can do is you can send handwritten notes to your friends, to your colleagues, to your clients, to people who have supported you in business, and just simply say, thank you for supporting me, right? Email and the internet and social media has become so routine that convenience has trumped this convention. All right, but you can be that rare gem that still sends mail, that still sends handwritten notes. All right, that's one of the things that you can do to go the extra mile. One more thing, sign up. Offer to do something extra regularly. It can be as modest as giving your spouse a break by volunteering to do a chore, helping your coworker with a project. Such gestures may take only a few minutes, but their effects can last a career or lifetime. All right. Excuse me. Last read for today is coming from the Little Book of Business Wisdom. The Little Book of Business Wisdom, and we have two. One is by Theodore Vail, and he's talking about the making of a businessman. And then the other one is by Henry Ford II, and he's going to tell you what an employer wants. Although Alexander Graham Bell patented the telephone in 1876, it was Theodore Vail who pioneered the building of the infrastructure for the telephone. He was working for the U.S. Railway Service and was considered the foremost expert in mail delivery. And he was hired by Bell Telephone in 1878. His mission was to take on Western Union and replace the telegraph with the telephone as the most important device for communication. Implicit in his mission was the job of networking the country with telephone lines, just as Vail had done with his system for mail delivery. In 1880, Vail won his battle with Western Union when he convinced them to sell out their interests. And in 1885, Bell formally became American Telephone and Telegraph, or AT&T. As a pioneer, Vail knew all too well the importance of decisiveness and perseverance when it comes to success. In the making of a businessman and in the course of business life, there are practices to be cultivated, things to be learned, and habits to be formed that are most helpful to success. These are the most important of them. Number 1, concentration upon and application to the work in hand, to the exclusion for the time being of all other work. So, one of the most important things is when you're working on a project, you got to concentrate. And we know in the society in which we live, people make it very hard to concentrate. So sometimes you have to turn your phone off. Not on mute, not on notifications buzz, but off. All right. I like to do that. And when I get ready to go to bed, when I do get ready to go to bed before midnight, I turn my phones off, because if I don't, I know I'm going to keep hearing buzz, buzz, ping, ping, buzz. All right. The same thing with work. When I'm working, when I'm writing or working on someone else's project, I like to turn the phone off. Okay. 2, definiteness of purpose and thoroughness in deciding on a pursuit and doing and learning all that is necessary to be done or known for its accomplishment. If you're in business, one of the things you learn very, very quickly is you don't stop learning. All right. There's always something new to learn, especially if you're in the business of writing, publishing, technology, etc. There's always something new to learn. So I encourage people, whenever you can find, especially free trainings from experts, try to take those trainings, because when they're offered for free, you're going to see those same trainings later in the year. People will be trying to catch up and they will not be free anymore. All right. Number 3, observation or the habit of noticing little things. Instinctive recognition of anything wrong or out of place. This is incidental to orderly habits or the result of them. General deductions from single incidents should never be made. One incident may be accidental, but many similar incidents come from a common cause. All right. So if you find yourself making the same mistake, or you find maybe somebody that you're working with or somebody that you're partnering with keeps making the same mistake, then you need to get to the root of the cause. All right. Next, foresight and precaution. There never was a successful leader who did not continue all precautions until the moment of success. Listen, here's one. Let me give you a business tip. All right. This one's for free. Please stop putting your ideas on social media and you have not copyrighted them and you have not trademarked them. Because once you do that, your ideas are up for grabs. And a lot of people put their ideas on social media and then they get upset when somebody else takes their idea and tries to duplicate it or copycat it. But if you have not trademarked it, you have not copyrighted it, then consider yourself offering up free ideas in the free market. All right. So if it's something, if it's a business idea, if it is a business process, if it is something you're creating and something you're designing, and you really have a heart for it, my first suggestion to you is to see a trademark and copyright attorney before you release any ideas on social media. People do it all the time. And then when they see someone else parodying their idea, they get upset. All right. So one of my things is, if I share it on social media, I've either copyrighted it, I've trademarked it, or I don't mind people utilizing it. All right. So if you are a person who doesn't mind giving ideas, then this is not a problem for you. But if you are someone who is starting a new business, you're starting a company, and maybe you've come up with a fabulous name for it, just because you put it out on your page, that is technically not a trademark or a copyright. You actually have to go through the process, go to copyright.gov, and it easily walks you through the process of how to file a copyright, what's the difference between a copyright, a trademark, and a slogan mark. Go through the process, pay for the process, and get your work properly protected. All right. Next thing, self-confidence. Without overconfidence or offensive egotism, it should rest on a thorough knowledge of what is to be done, or on experience in the doing, or on both. Respect for the unknown. In every undertaking, there are difficulties that only a familiar and practical acquaintance can reveal. Respect for the opinions of others. Now, people don't pay me for opinions. They actually pay me for facts in consultation. But in the world of business, if you are wise, then you get consultation, right? The scripture talks about how in the multitude of counselors there is safety. So before you plan something or before you start a new business, you want to talk to people who have planned and started a business. You definitely want to talk to people who have done it in your field. All right. And I like to talk to people who succeeded. And I also like to talk to people who didn't do so well in it, so I can make sure I don't make the same mistakes. All right. So respecting the opinions of others. Anytime I see someone getting ready to start something and they say, I've got it, I know what I'm doing, I don't need your help, it's almost guaranteed that they're probably either missing a big piece of what they're supposed to be doing, or they're going to come back later in the year and say, hey, I need help. Can you help me? It never fails. All right. So respect for the opinions of others. When people are trying to help you, receive the help. All right. Don't let your pride get in the way and cause you to wind up failing when you didn't have to fail. Next, deliberation over new ideas. Many thoughts that are seemingly wonderful lose their apparent value when slept on or exposed to impartial criticism, which is a lot of what I like to do for new authors. Okay, I get people that email me all the time saying, hey, I got an idea for a book, and here's a little bit of the synopsis. Can you help me? Now, one of the things that I do as a publisher is I give out a free list of things that you need to consider before you publish. Why do I do this? Because they are the questions that I wish somebody would have asked me before I got into publishing. All right. So one of the things that I do for free is I give people a publisher startup question checklist. All right. And so I give it to you for free. You can email me, reachshantae@gmail.com. And if you can answer those questions, then you are on the road to getting your work properly published. If you can't answer those questions, then you need to find a consultant. Even if it's not me, you need to find a consultant. So a lot of times I will send a checklist out, and then people will write me back and they'll say, you know, I thought I was ready to publish, but I cannot answer half of these questions. Okay. So again, as he says here, many thoughts are seemingly wonderful until they come under a level of, here it is, impartial criticism. All right. Some of us cannot take criticism. And part of it is sometimes we're trying to take criticism from people who know us too well. But if you go to someone who doesn't know you very well, who's only looking at what you're trying to do, who gives you that impartial criticism, they're not your cousin, they're not your mother, they're not your boyfriend or your girlfriend, right? We're talking business, but it's somebody who's just trying to give you criticism based on what it is you're trying to do, and is not connected to a personal relationship. You're more likely to receive what they're saying to you. All right. So if you have a new idea, all right, submit it to somebody who can give you impartial criticism. Why? Because all good ideas are not God ideas. So sleep on it, submit it to some impartial criticism, and then go back and say, now, is this something that I need to get involved in? Is this something I need to do? Is this something I need to launch? Sometimes it can be the right business. It can even be the right business idea. It can even be the right book title, but it could be the wrong season or the wrong time. All right. Next, attention without interruption to anyone who is at all entitled to be heard. Cultivate the mind in many directions. To know intelligently about many things is always valuable to a businessman. And lastly, reciprocity in all areas of life. It is only by reciprocity that permanent success can be gained. Every exchange should benefit both sides. Okay? In the year of 2018, if you are engaging in business, make sure that you are benefiting and the person you are engaged in business with is benefiting. Don't be caught up in getting contracts with people where they get all the benefit and you get all the work. All right? Those who feel discouraged by hard conditions should remember that most successful men have started under discouraging conditions. I think I posted, I forget who it was, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. If you look on my personal page, it shows the setup for his office when Amazon first got started, and now he's like one of the richest men in America. All right. It was very, very small beginnings. Warren Buffett, he started his office out of his garage, lives in a middle class neighborhood for very, very lots of years. Nobody knew that he was this, what they call the Oracle of Omaha. All right. These men had very, very humble beginnings. Some of them keep their lives in a humble state, even though they're making a lot of money. So despise not small beginnings. Henry Ford II. We're moving on. Filling the shoes of legendary Henry Ford was a Herculean task, but Henry Ford II had little choice when his grandfather started running the Ford Motor Company into the ground in the 1940s due to him being senile. No one thought that young Ford would amount to much, but he enlisted in the Navy during World War II against the family's wishes to prove his independence and his worth. When his father, Edsel Ford, died in 1943, Henry II was permitted to leave the Navy to help run the car company, which needed a serious house cleaning. Even then, it took 2 years before he was made president. Henry II, who knew what he wanted in an employee and hired the best, is credited with turning around the company in the post-war years, and the famous Mustang was introduced on his watch in 1964. So these are Henry Ford II's tips on what an employer wants. So if you're in the professional sector field and you're trying to move up in your professional sector, he's going to give you some tips. All right. In considering a man for a management job or for other work, every employer must ask these questions. Would this applicant, if hired, be an asset to my company? We know many of the qualities that make a man an asset to a business. Here are the main ones. And believe it or not, in the day and age in which we live, this is still important. I know some people think it's not. I know some people think that you could just Google anything. Number one, asset to a company: proficiency in your field. Your college training is the company's justification for hiring you. But you should remember that when an employer thinks about an applicant's college training, he thinks about more than a major in one field. He thinks about things like your reading speed, your comprehension, your ability to write the English language, the knowledges and principles of mathematics, the use of hard logic. Okay? The better prepared you are in things like accounting, public relations, public speaking, market research, the ability to problem solve, the better are your chances of matching the description of a job that is open. Never forget, however, that specialized training alone is not enough. It may get you that first job, but if it is all you have to offer an employer, it may also bury you in that first job. Most employers today, they're looking for people who have a diverse set of skills. That makes you more valuable to your employer. Number two, Social competence. That's actually still very important. Why? People are losing their jobs over Facebook. People are losing their jobs over Instagram. People are losing their jobs over Twitter. And we're not talking about we're not talking about people fresh out of college. We're talking about people who have been in their professional fields for 20, 30, 40 years. They're losing their jobs because of lack of social competence. Like certain things, even if you think them, they don't necessarily have to be typed for the world to know. It's crazy. This is the kind of unsatisfactory term that always means too many things. Perhaps I can clarify it somewhat by pointing out that the social skills a person learns while in school will serve them well in a large corporation. But let's backtrack. Are people learning social skills in school anymore? I can tell you they're not. As one who worked in education for 15 years, if your teacher is not socially competent and the teacher is not passing down social skills to the student, there's no class on social skills. Unless you're in an alternative school, all right? And I was a teacher in an alternative school. We actually taught social skills, resume skills, interviewing skills, job skills, but most schools don't teach it anymore. All right. So where are you getting your social skills from? If you're not getting them from a parent or a guardian, chances are you're going to be socially incompetent. All right. So the ability to cooperate with others in purposeful activity, being congenial, which is being friendly, knowing how to follow and lead, excuse me, all of these personal traits are important in school, and they are important in a company. I don't mean to suggest that an employer is going to be impressed automatically by a long list of your social skills. Your chairmanship, however, of company committees will speak highly for you. But for an employer, your chairmanships in the professional and honorary societies speak more highly and more to the point. They indicate that you possess the kinds of skills which are highly prized in a company, such as the ability to work with others, lead others, and get along with others. Another skill that employers are looking for, analytical power. You exercise this power in the classroom to the extent that you gather evidence, interpret it, and draw logical conclusions. You will also exercise it in business, but there will be a big difference. When you apply the scientific method to the problem of a classroom, usually you don't apply all of it. All right? In business, you often have to find the problem before you can even start thinking about the solution. In business, recognizing the problem is just as important as knowing the method that will solve it. This is what employers are looking for. Are you a problem solver? But more importantly, are you a problem recognizer? Can you recognize a problem before it even gets to be something that is blown out of proportion? Those are the people that employers are looking for. Another one is curiosity. An employer is always on the lookout for questing minds. Many people with specialized training and the ability to reason can deal easily with accepted facts. Fewer people are blessed with the kind of curiosity that breaks up familiar patterns and starts fresh thought and innovation. This is the very source of innovation. The less costly manufacturing technique, the quicker the accounting system, the more effective sales plan, the better design. So employers are looking for people who are curious, because curiosity can breed innovation. Innovation can save time, money, effort, energy, etc. And lastly, integrity. Integrity. It's almost become like a curse word. for some people. This is the quality that gives meaning to all the rest. You must have it first of all for yourself, of course, for without it, no person is whole. But individual integrity also makes group integrity, and this is essential to a company. It is the guidance and control system that directs company performance, and by its performance over the long haul, a company either lives or dies. So if you're in a company where nobody has integrity, understand that company is not going to last long. All right? I can't even like stress this last one. Integrity. Integrity. If you're in a company and everyone around you is stealing, how long do you think that company is going to last? If you're in a company and everyone around you is lying to the customers and they're dishonest, how long do you think that company is going to last? So, again, individual integrity makes for group integrity. You want to be the person who has integrity, and you want to be working with people who have integrity. Can your employer trust you? If they can't trust you, you're not going to be there for long. All right? So, this concludes our Daring Dialogue for today. I hope that I have said something that was helpful for you. I hope that you have a great and wonderful weekend. We will be back here on Sunday for our Sunday broadcast at 2 p.m. And I will be continuing our series, The Technology of Favor, for those of you all who want to tune in on Sunday. All right. I want to thank you for your time and attention. Remember, light is the most daring opposition to darkness. So please go out and be light in darkness. And if you're stuck in an environment where you're snowed in and it's negative 13 degrees, then try to be a light online. All right? Remember, social media presence matters. Take care and God bless. Bye now. Bye-bye. It doesn't want to let me go. There we go.
Goodbye.
Bye now. Bye-bye.